Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. Today we are doing something, exciting for me anyway. We're planting our second, what I call like a production garden. So these have been some experimental patches that I've used to try to learn how to grow different crops and how useful they'll be and how harvesting goes and different things like that. And this year we are planting something I've wanted to plant for several years now. So I've got the Ford 4000 out here. We've got it loaded up. I've got checked the oil and fluids and everything in it, and we're gonna go out and prepare this patch and get it planted. Doing this planting by hand pretty much with a small tool that I'll show you guys. I've showed you before in the popcorn patch. But let me show you what we've got and what the plan is, and we'll get out to the patch and get this job done. So we have some supplies loaded up. So we've got the Chapin seeder that I use for the popcorn patch. We're gonna try that out. So it's I have to do this hopper by hopper hand deal, but it should make it a little bit easier. I don't have a planter for the back of the tractor at this point. This is what we're gonna be planting. This is black oil sunflower seeds. This is actual for bird seed that I bought from where did I buy this from? A local sunflower farm, actually. And so we're gonna try planting these black oil sunflower seeds. I have a couple uses for these. I'll talk to you guys about at the end of the video why I'm planting these. And then I also have this that I ordered. This is a large gray stripe sunflower. This is a different kind of sunflower seed. These are a little bit bigger seeds. They are for snacks. And they also, I've heard, are good for sunflower oil. And they're also good for animal feeds and other things, as well as are these. So we're gonna try two different kinds. I don't know how well these will grow, the bird seed, black oil sunflower seeds. We're gonna try those, and we're gonna try these in a separate area, and we'll see which does better and what's more useful, and we'll see what we wanna go with next year. I also have the my little battery power source that I take around with me all the time. This charges my drone, my phone, and today it's powering a little Coleman 12-volt cooler. So the idea is to prep the land first. I already have tilled it a couple weeks ago, but there's a lot of weeds and stuff that have grown up since then. So I'm gonna run through it kind of quickly, lightly with the tiller. It did rain yesterday, so I'm hoping that it's dry enough. I'm gonna run through just to knock the weeds off the top and loosen that soil up just from the first maybe inch or two at the most. And then we'll run through and plant all our sunflower seeds out. I'm doing this around the weather. Whenever I plant these patches, I do it at a time where it's going to rain in the next day or two. Tomorrow there's like a 100% chance of rain tomorrow, so I'm hoping that it actually does rain and that'll water the patch for me. And there's also another couple days it's gonna rain in the next week. So you don't want it to dry out over that first week of seed, because your seeds will start to germinate and then they'll wither away if it dries. So that's the plan anyway. I don't have a source of water out there. I'm not running sprinklers or any of that kind of stuff, so I don't have a choice. I've got to plan this around the weather. So let's fire the tractor up, get out to the patch, and see what we got. I can already tell that this soil is gonna be tough. It's really wet. So I'm not sure if I can even do this today, to be honest with you. Let's run the tiller on a real light setting here. Let's just run it through, see if we can knock these weeds off, and we'll see maybe if it'll dry out a little bit for me today. Well, it worked out pretty good. This side over here, I couldn't even get through here. It's so muddy. I couldn't turn, especially once you till it. It's nice and loose and wet, and so the front tires just sink in and you know, can't get any traction. I think if I let this dry out for a few hours that I'll be able to get that planter and run it through here. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. The alternate idea is that I can hand broadcast the seed out here and then come out here and drag a fence or something like that behind it, or a chain link fence, or roll over it to compact it into the soil with something, either the tractor or a barrel, or I'll have to figure something out or make something. So we'll come out here in a couple hours, check it out, we'll make a determination and see what works and what doesn't. Well, it has been a few hours. There are a lot of mosquitoes out here. But I think the soil has dried out, so let's take a look at it and see if we can get that seeder through here. If that pushing that seeder becomes too difficult, which it was kind of difficult on the other patch, I may just try to broadcast it. So let's see what happens here, and let's give it a try. I don't know, it just might work. The top part of the soil is definitely dried out, so we might be able to get that seeder through here. All right, so we've got our seeder here. Let's get the right disc on. I think I'm going to plant a bunch of these right down the center of the field, and then on each side we'll do the black oil sunflower seeds. So let's see what's recommended here. So it says disc 3. I think that's the same one that I used for the corn. Yep. So let's see if it'll handle these bigger sunflower seeds. We'll have a lot growing up here. Spill them all over. So I'm going to set the depth at 1 inch. Because the soil is so soft, it actually goes deeper than that. So set our row space here at the maximum. So I think I'm going to try something a little different. I brought the gator back out here. I brought some fencing, some chain link fencing, and I brought my seed spreader. So this is working just fine, but honestly, the mosquitoes are so bad, even with doused in mosquito repellent. There were probably like 15 of them on me each time I come within 10 or 15 feet of the wood line. It's pretty awful. Not only that, this seeder, it just doesn't go through this tilled soil very well. So it really requires a lot of forward force, and so I think me trying to plant this row by row is going to take too long. So what I'm going to do, I've got a new plan that I think might work. So these black oil sunflowers are shorter, and so I think that if I mix just a few of these taller, bigger ones in, then we'll have kind of a good mix. We'll have some shorter ones, we'll have some taller ones. The black oil stuff I can plant a lot closer together. And then we'll just have some of the taller ones mixed in between, so they won't totally shade out the shorter stuff. We'll see how that works. So sorry, the gator is running in the background. It doesn't start all the time, so I don't want to shut it off. So I might use it. I might use it to drag this, so yeah. So there's a couple different ways that I know of anyway that you can plant seeds like this. So you can see we've got all the black oil sunflower seeds. They're kind of hard to see all over here, the little ones, and we've got the white and the gray striped ones. They're spread all over the soil. So there's a couple different ways to do that. You can roll a heavy roller over everything, and that roller comes by and it presses it into the soil. So now you've got really good soil contact. So when the soil gets wet, it'll hold moisture around that seed, which will help it to germinate. Obviously, seeds just need warmth and water to germinate, and so that's all we're trying to do is get these seeds in contact with the soil, which will then be, hold water around the seed and start it to germinate. Once the root gets in the ground, water isn't as important, and it can kind of search out its own water. And if you dig down a couple inches below the surface of the soil, it's usually moist enough anyway. So you can use the heavy roller to force the seed into the soil. You can do like that seed planter does. It digs a trench and it places the seed in the trench, and then it comes behind it with that little flap and it buries it as it goes by. So that's one way to do it. And the way that I'm going to try today is basically using a chain link fence, and you drag the chain link fence over the soil, and it creates a bunch of turbulence, and it'll bury the seeds by just knocking the soil all over the place and the seeds all over the place, and so it'll end up burying it as it comes by. So if you make a couple passes over the soil that way, you end up getting enough soil over the top of the seeds where they can start to germinate. So that's the plan anyway. I do know that the germination isn't quite as good this way, especially for seeds that are meant to be planted deeper, and so we'll see. I have a feeling my planter that I put, those rows, the 12 rows I did, I have a feeling those are going to do a lot better than the broadcasted seed. However, I broadcasted a whole lot of extra seed, so even if we only have a 50% germination rate, it's still going to be a heck of a lot of sunflowers out here. Well, we're going to call it. It's definitely not great. I see a lot of seeds still sitting on the surface, but the tractor is starting to knock. I've been noticing a knock in the engine, and it's getting louder, so I don't want to push this thing anymore. I got to put it away, and I have to take a look at it, see what's causing that. Hopefully I don't have to do a major engine overhaul right before hay season. But the sunflower seed is in the ground or on the ground in many cases here. I see a lot of seed. But even if 40 or 50% of it is covered, we still have a really thick crop out here. I really spread that seed thick out here. So hopefully at least 40% of it is buried and we get germination on it. So I'd be happy with that. Even if those 12 rows in the center sprout, the ones that I planted with the cedar, which does a much better job, then I'll be happy with that. So don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me for me losing half my blood to mosquitoes and planting some sunflowers. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'd love to have you tag along. Lots of farming and gardening and planting things and growing things and fixing things that I break. So always good fun here. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.